Okay, we're rolling.
Okay.
Okay, so how did you first learn the banjo?
Oh, I had a neck. My father, he had a banjo, and he sat on it and it broke. And so when I was, very small, it happened when I was very, very small. So the banjo parts were laying around our house, and I had a neck and a pot, and I played with both of them separately. I dropped Legos on the banjo pot just to get them bounce off, and then I had a banjo neck, and I practiced chords on the banjo neck. And when my mother, she bought me a banjo when I was 10 years old. Because I really wanted one for years, and she finally bought me one. It was a tenor banjo, and I didn't know anything, but I had a chord chart with about, 15 chords on it or so, and I had learned them fairly early, and then I went just put the record player on and tried to play along. And that's how I learned to play the banjo, really, just by listening. And five-string banjo the same. I didn't know that they played with finger picks for quite some time, and then when I figured that out, I got me a five-string banjo. Actually, my brother, he bought me a five-string banjo, and I bought me some finger picks, and then I just tried to figure it out. I didn't even know how it was tuned, so there was a man named Daryl Adams, and he was an old-time player from Virginia, and he toured Europe, and I asked him backstage at a festival, how's the banjo tuned? He wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I went home, and of course, and I actually had figured it out before, but he helped me. And then I just listened to the albums and slowed them down, 16 turns, per minute, or whatever it was, instead of 33, right? That was an octave lower, so I could figure it out. It was a lot of trial and error. Did a lot of mistakes. Didn't do it really good. But I had fun. For me it was great just to try, and everything that sounded more like the real thing just gave me a big kick.
And here you are at the Deering Banjo facility, building some good time banjos right now.
Well,
yes. Tell us about why you're building.
Well, it was something I asked Janet. I live in Wilkes County, North Carolina, and we always for Merlefest we do an outreach program. And last time I did the outreach program, I learned that a few of the schools in Wilkes County, they have music programs, but they don't really have the funds, to buy instruments. And so I asked Janet if it'd be okay if I take parts that are rejects, parts that are not for the general public for sale, and if I could use some of these parts, we could put them together and give them away, so kids have the ability to play on a decent instrument. And so Janet said, of course, next time you're out, why don't you just put a few together and you can take them with you and then bring them to the schools. And well, that's what I'm doing right here, just putting them together, and so I can then go into some of the schools and give them away.
And how important is it for you to see music being taught in schools?
I think that's a very good question, Jamie. I think that's great, because music is, for me, I think as music something that is very important. And there's been studies made that children actually can think better, work better in all levels if they are exposed to play music or sing. And so I think it's sad that the music programs are not funded anymore that much, or are sometimes on the edge of disappearing. And for me it's very important. Music brings people together, gives hope, brings joy and happiness, and all the good things in life, really. And that's why I think it's important to have music in schools, And if we can just help a little bit by bringing banjos. When I came from Switzerland, that was, I did the first outreach program in North Carolina. We were asking the kids in school who plays guitar, and so a lot of kids, raised their hands, play a little guitar. And then I asked, so who plays banjo? And it was actually more than guitar. And so I thought that's cool. Yeah. Living in a place where the banjo. is so widely used, you know.
And what do you think the banjo offers as an instrument to younger students in schools in relation to, say, a guitar or a keyboard or a piano or something like that?
Well, the banjo is, first of all, it's a good solo instrument. Really, it's a good solo instrument, and you can also use it to play behind singing very, very easily. And it's not hard to press for children. You know, the guitar sometimes uses big chords that are not that easy for children. The banjo is much closer together, and the strings are lighter. And so it's actually, to a certain degree, it's much easier to play than a guitar and start off music, similar like a ukulele maybe or something. And the banjo, but the banjo is also cool. You know, it's quite loud. You know, and so that children enjoy the banjo. Because it's also partly a drum, and it's the functionality of the banjo is so obvious. You know, it's the strings that go onto this drum. You know, children always enjoy the banjo because it seems to be just a happy instrument. You know, especially children look at it that way. You know, because Kermit the Frog plays banjo. You know, banjo is always associated with a good time. You know?
And what was your experience like being taught music in school?
Well, our music programs in school in Europe, they were more on the reading music. There was not instrument classes. I grew up with music theory classes and singing. You know, we did lots of singing in school. Folk, it's probably similar to us in England, you know. Lots of folk music singing, and I enjoyed that tremendously. And the music classes themselves was mainly just reading music, learning to solemnization. It's the hand signs, you know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That was it, what we had. And it helped me actually to understand music. I thought it was a good thing, you know. Yeah.
Do you think that music as part of the educational mix holds as much weight as, say, math or science or history? Some of them more academic.
I actually think that music education is, playing music is not a field of its own. It enhances the ability for all of the fields. It seems like it's a fertilizer for all other fields. When you play music, everything else seems to be so much more logic, or your thinking becomes so much more clear. And so I wouldn't look at it as a separate, because it involves everything. It involves physical activity. It involves, you know, the physics of the string, the understanding of you know, hands-on physics producing sound. It is mathematically interesting because it's music. It has meters. It has form. It has. Then you have to listen. You have to process and react. And in science, they have discovered that there's almost no activity that a human can do that requires as much brain activity as playing music. So it's an overall stimulant to really, it's like I call it a fertilizer for the brain, really, you know. And they have shown that children sing every day or play music. They are just advancing in all fields in the school greatly.
The banjo has definitely seen a resurgence over the last year or so in popularity.
Yeah.
What do you think is kind of the catalyst for that, and where do you see the banjo in the next 10, 20 years?
It's a good question. I am, first of all, very happy to see that the acoustic instruments in general, starting with the ukulele, the guitar, and all this, also the violin, all these acoustic instruments having such a revival right now, and the banjo being so much used in all kinds of music forms. I think it is due to also the urge of people to try to find more real things again. We've been, you know, it doesn't matter how much new things the computers can offer today. It's not as spectacular anymore as the first few computers that came out, you know. It's just really, it's moving to a direction where we all say, yeah, it's okay, you know, just that we have this and that. It's not as exciting anymore, and it seems like the world looks at the people more again. you know, of what they're actually feeling and what they're saying. It's not the technology as much anymore. So we're moving more towards the people again, and of course that's where the instruments come in. A banjo is such a direct translator of feelings. That's like a guitar maybe, and it's right at your fingertips, and you can hear the personality so well. And that's why I think there's this big revival. But so, like I said, I'm very happy about this development. And where the banjo is going to be, I don't know. But I think the banjo has become such a good instrument to amplify, to play solo on. The technique has developed so well. There's so many good curriculums out that the banjo will take a major role in musical expression in the future, and will stay that way. That's where I see it.
I know you're a very busy man and you have many more banjos to build, but what's next on your agenda? Tell us a bit about what you're doing.
I have to go to Canada and rehearse with the orchestra. I have to rehearse with the orchestra at the Banff Centre. I've written a big piece for the Rocky Mountains, and it's a long piece I've been working on for a year. It's a classical piece, and there's a lot of notes to be played, and I have to oversee everything. And I'm very excited about this project. That's what I'm doing. Then we have a Europe tour coming up. And lots of concerts. I think we have we just give away the last free weekend we have for this year. So I'm going to be home for a few days, and I'm going to be constantly on the road pretty much till the end of the year. And I don't even want to know where I have to go. I just, I just hop in the car or the plane or wherever with my banjo and go. I usually know where I'm going when I'm going, but I don't know now where I'm going in January or in December. I don't even sometimes just don't want to look at it, It's a lot.
Okay, one last question.
Yes.
Any final advice for anyone trying to learn banjo? What's your words of wisdom for the day?
The words of wisdom for the day. Learn the banjo. Oh, never give up. First of all, don't. If you can't do it, the step was too hard. Make a smaller step. Make very small steps, and always master it perfectly before you go on. Make very small steps, and it's like a low gear in a mountain bike. You can climb the highest mountain if the steps are small enough. And you get frustrated if you want to advance too fast, or that is frustrating. And then you don't have to be like anybody else. Just play the banjo the way you like to play it, and explore it on your level, and look at it as a toy, just like Lego or something. And besides, studying, music and things, then just try to find the right middle way of not taking it too serious, but serious enough to stay with it. And there's a great reward for it, because the nicest thing about music is that you can make other people happy. This is great. You can take this tool and you get to smile, make people smile, have a good 5 minutes of life maybe. And that's a beautiful thing. I can't put a price tag on that, So that's my advice. Just stay with it and do small steps and enjoy it.
Jens Kruger, thank you very much.
Oh, you're most welcome.